our city attorney, administrative staff. Today is Monday, December 23rd, 2024, and this is the City of Romulus City Council special meeting public hearing. And this hearing is for the public to have an opportunity to provide comments or objections to establishing a commercial redevelopment district for the purpose of a tax abatement. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Yes, here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
And I see that Councilman Wilson is absent.
I think he's coming,
Mr. Chair, with that, we do have a quorum for this special meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Tonight's public hearing agenda is as follows. Number 1, roll call. 2, agenda. 3, public hearing discussion, establishing a commercial redevelopment district. 4 is public comment, and number 5 is adjournment. And a motion be in order to accept the public hearing agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the public hearing agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to accept the public hearing as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. We're at number 3, the public hearing discussion, and we're going to call up Kevin Kraus before we have you all come up. We'd like to call up Kevin Kraus and Julie Albert, and they're just going to kind of set the stage for you guys so we can move forward with this public hearing.
Good evening, council, mayor, and clerk. Appreciate you taking time this evening to schedule the public hearing portion of this process and being present this evening to listen to the process in which we would go through to accomplish this project. First and foremost, I just want to kind of go over, we're not asking for any action this evening, either in this or in tonight's council meeting. This is strictly informational and give council an opportunity to discuss or ask questions for clarification on the project as a whole. Secondary, I just want to kind of go over just a brief overview of how we got here today, and then Ms. Albert is going to kind of go over the details of the process and what we're going to be doing moving forward, and the other evenings that we'll bring in front of council, requested action potentially after the first of the year. So as you know, over the last 18 to 24 months, we've been doing some significant enforcement, code enforcement, building department enforcement, and just overall reinvestment into our commercial hotel district within the city along Merriman Road and Wickham Roads. And during that period of time, Embassy Hotels and Cooper Hotels had kind of, reached out and said, hey, we noticed the difference that you guys are making in the area, and we're interested in looking to reinvest in the area. Subsequently, one of their neighbors, which was the roadway, was in enforcement quite a bit and really ready to be shut down, and the certificate of occupancy pulled because of the enforcement and the structural integrity of the buildings that were on that site. So luckily Cooper stepped up. They purchased the property next to them, which was the roadway, and they showed significant interest in reinvesting into that district. And what they approached the city with was an opportunity to reinvest in our community and get rid of this significant burden property on our community and on our services, particularly public safety with police and fire responses to that location. So with that being said, they will, kind of answer more questions and also give them an opportunity to, kind of expand on what they plan on doing on the site for the city moving forward. But this evening, as I said, is just questions, clarifications, make sure you guys understand the process, and then what we're going to do moving forward. So with that, I'll let Julie kind of go over the details of the process portion of this.
Hi, good evening. As Kevin said, tonight is just the public hearing portion, the first of 2. So tonight will just be to answer questions, as Kevin said. The next council meeting would require council action to approve the commercial redevelopment district. If the district is approved, following that time, the property owner would file an application. We would schedule another public hearing before council to review the application, and then there would be yet another meeting for council to take action on the application and the subsequent action. So we'll have 2 public hearings, this is the first of 2, and there'll be 2 action items for council following those public hearings.
One thing that I did want to point out is the establishment of the commercial redevelopment district is only for the one parcel that the roadway used to sit on, or currently sits on, but is, closed and condemned at this point in time. So, with that said, I'll invite Cooper Hotels to come up, or their representative, to present their project. Thank you.
Good evening, council, and happy holidays. The Cooper Hotels have bought, as Kevin said, the roadway in with the intent to knock it down and to actually build 2 hotels on the site. It'll be a true hotel, true Hilton.
True is part of Hilton, and Home 2 Suites.
Home 2 Suites.
Extended stay and a nightly stay.
So the intent is to actually build 2 hotels with sharing one lobby and one common space. So take advantage of the site itself. At a later date, they intend to come forward with retail development on the front, similar to what the Spring Hill has done. It's going to be roughly a $60 million development. Hotel has been purchased and shut down and boarded up. Environmental has been done on the site, and sometime in the future, they will actually knock it down. The hope is to knock it down in early spring and start construction right after that. This is abatement, it's a Public Act 255. It's the commercial redevelopment district that's being proposed. This would be an abatement very similar to, I guess, an industrial abatement in the sense that it can be up to 12 years if you choose, which is what we're asking. The hope is for this abatement that we can cover the cost of the demolition of the old building and the acquisition of the building. Well, we're calling it extraordinary cost for this development. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the council? Mr. Wadsworth?
Tim, are they gonna have to go back through the planning commission first before it comes back to us?
The district and the abatement would be approved
By
before we
us.
go to the planning commission.
Then you go to the planning commission?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Mayor?
Thank you. Through the chair, just a quick comment. I want to thank Cooper Hotels too, because when we talked to PD and we looked at where the crime was, we saw where our hotspots were, and that's why we got really focused on our hotel district. Our hotel district is a whole different economic engine, and we're going to use that to bring the retail and the things we want here. But we can only do so much of that. The city worked hard on enforcement. We saw which was our worst offender in hotel, and we pinpoint them with the PD ordinance building and with laser focus. We were able to drive that nefarious activity out of our community, but we can only realize half the dream. We can only code enforcement a certain amount of rehab on that site. We need to have a private partnership to share our vision. So I want to thank Cooper Hotels for noticing the effort and also stepping up to be part of that vision. And I'm not a big fan of tax abatements either, but if we're going to do that, we're going to get direct benefit to our community and continue to push and show others that we're not going to have that nefarious activity in our community anymore. That's a great step forward. So I'm appreciative of the partnership and look forward to this project.
As the mayor said, there's been significant public safety, fire and police at that facility, which has caused great stress on the city and quite frankly, great stress on the embassy and hotels that the Hoover Hotel owns. It's a struggle to do business next to a neighbor who is, constantly creating problems for them. One thing that should be noted as well is current taxes for the roadway are $49,000 a year total. Current taxes, and Julie and Kevin are working on spreadsheets right now, but we project taxes somewhere in the range of $300,000 for city alone from Cooper Hotels. It'd be significant in terms of what this does. Even with an abatement, the city will be making significantly more on the city side than it currently does now with the roadway in.
John?
Ms. Warsco?
So explain a little bit on how the abatement works, because whenever you mention abatements, everyone thinks that there's going to be absolutely no tax dollars at all coming to the city, and that isn't totally true.
That is correct.
So
The abatement is 50% of the tax base. So the city is getting 50% of what it would have gotten from a total. So there's constantly money coming through. And like I mentioned earlier, the 50% will be significantly more than what you're making right now.
So technically, just to clarify, if roadway, like you said, is paying $49,000 a year total right now, and if we get 50% of 300,000 estimated,
Correct.
so we're still making 2 times the amount that we're getting from roadway now.
Correct.
Okay, because whenever you mention abatements, everyone kind of out there in the community kind of
I mean, this is
grumbles.
different- Yeah, this is different than Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, where they actually give 100% of the money back to the person in the development, or some portion thereof. So it's significant in terms of what the city is going to get in terms of dollars and cents as compared to what it's getting now, even with an abatement.
Thanks for that clarification.
Sure.
Mr. Crowell?
Through the chair, one thing that I didn't mention also is that this particular property is within our TIFA district, so the impact isn't going to be on the general fund, it'll be from the TIFA capture.
And it should be noted that there's going to be significant influence in terms of positive influence on the hotel district. Hopefully, it'll continue with new development in the corridor, which there has been new development for probably 10 years.
We were the last new development.
The Hampton. Yep.
Any other comments from council?
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms.
I
Abdo?
received 13 calls today from people in the community that read about the study session, and they are against the tax abatement. I asked them to come to council, but I don't blame them with the weather out there. Specifically for 12 years. They felt that was too much, and these are people, I represent people of Romulus, and they don't want tax abatements to develop the area around the airport. We've already given so much back. I mean, what does the people of Romulus get from this? That's their question.
May I speak on that?
Sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Councilman Abdo, what you're gonna get is more money for the city into the coffers. If we do nothing right now, you are gonna be leaving a lot of money on the table. So that money that maybe they don't want development around for hotels, but the fact is, that's a big tax base for Romulus. We can say we don't want hotels, we can say we don't want industry, but that's what's driving your tax base. And if I do nothing, you're gonna end up with less money for your taxpayers in the city, or your residents, than if I do develop that.
I felt that 12 years was excessive. Many of them did not want the tax break at all. I'm just telling you, these are the people I represent.
I understand.
And
I just think they have to be educated on what it means for the city, and not just say, oh, well, they're not gonna pay any taxes.
Through the chair.
Yes,
And that's
Mayor.
actually a good point. I respect all the different residents who call in and they voice a negative opinion about it or a different thought. Do they know all the facts? Do they know that we're gonna actually take in more, even with the abatement, than we do currently on the site? Plus, we're removing a blighted site. We're removing a site that was known for prostitution and drug use. We're building 2 hotels that are gonna bring in more travelers and also help support that retail we're all looking for. We always hear it's about rooftops, rooftops, rooftops. Well, now we have a rooftops, and we're gonna bolster that with a strong hotel district, which is its own economic engine in itself. So the benefits on this site with the redevelopment, to me, are far-reaching more than just the tax abatements.
Through the chair,
Yes, Mayor.
let me just say this, we got residents that are against this, and it's gonna be people that doesn't understand or don't know all the facts. I think we as a council, we need to understand what it is and communicate that information back to the residents. We need to be the ambassadors. If we believe in this project and the benefits to our city, we need to be the ones out there telling them, giving them the facts. We sitting up here, we got the information. Why aren't we not educating our residents to let them know what this is about? That's what I'm saying. So, Mayor, If we don't do nothing with this property and we say no because nobody wants to do tax abatement, what happens to that property?
Well,
It sits there, boarded up, blighted?
It'd probably be on the demolition list, because now
Okay.
it's vacated. So now we've pushed that activity out of there, we made it so it wasn't profitable to use. They either had to have a significant capital investment in that site or close it, they opted to close it. So if this didn't happen, then you would run up to the blighted site, we put it on the demolition list, probably have to tear it down. Like I said, the city can only do half of the reinvigoration or the re-envisioning of this whole site. We can only do the code enforcement. We can only do that negative part of it. We need that private investor to show the interest and share that vision and build new.
Yeah. It's many times as a council person that I get a lot of negative, people coming up with negative things about different things that go on in our city, and I have to give them the facts. I get the facts, and then I communicate those facts to them so that they don't have misinformation and they know what is going on in our city. That's why we're on council. We have to be informed on what's going on, and if we believe in it and understand it, then we need to communicate that to the residents so they don't be walking around here with misinformation. That's all I got to say.
Through the chair,
Yes,
from your lecture, Ms. Talley, yes, I do communicate with them, and yes, I will give back the facts that I got today. I've taken extensive notes. I think we all do that as a council.
I don't know. I don't know that.
any other comments from, Mr. Crowell?
Again, this evening is education on process, right? And on how we're gonna go through the process. Once we go through this process tonight, and everyone understands what the ask is, they will, the next steps, if the district is approved, is they will submit their application. And when they submit their application, that's when they'll have a dollar amount of their ask. At that point, Julie Elder can calculate what that, what, as far as how many years that will be. I know in the general letter to start this process, they asked for 12 years. But, targeting the property acquisition and the demolition cost is really what they're looking at capturing taxes for. So that could, that could be anywhere from 1 year to 12 years. But we won't know what that actual calculation is until the application process, process. And we can look at that, and then from administratively, we'll make a recommendation to council on how many years that would cover. And that's down the road. We don't get into those numbers until we actually get that application and we know what the actual ask is.
Right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Just want to say, we had these horrible neighbors next to us, and it was hard for us to do business. And, we went to the mayor, and we really, and Kevin, and we were upset a lot of times at what was going on right next to us because it was affecting our business. And in good faith, we went to the owner and said, we're gonna buy this one. Well, he thought he had a gold mine. We overpaid for the property, I'll just say that. But it was worth it to us in hoping that the city would back us in moving forward to get rid of this. It is so sad to see a school bus pull up to a hotel like the roadway and little kids walk out. And then you would not believe the things that I would tell you that I saw out my office window when I lived here in Detroit, in Romulus. So, in good faith, we overpaid because we had to. And now we're coming back to you as a city and saying, help us out for what we've already taken the first step. And Councilman Abdo, in the past, you said we would have done it anyway. That's not true. We can't do this without your help. We can't do it without the city helping us out a little bit. And, we were saving you on police, fire, all those costs cost money. You're not paying for those anymore. I would love to see what our calls have happened in police. It's gone down. That's actual money that you were already saving without even passing this because of what we did. So we're just asking for give back, help us. Help us help you. It sounds so cliche, but that's what we're doing.
Any other comments? Now, what I'm understanding tonight is you asking for a 12-year abatement. Is that correct?
We're
asking for an abatement to cover, as Kevin said, the cost of the acquisition and the demolition. So those numbers will actually wash out when Julie finishes her spreadsheet, her and Kevin take a look at it. And so it'll be, as he said, anywhere from 1 to 12 years. It can't be any longer than 12 years.
Okay. Any other comments from council? Mr. Wadsworth, you looking, you
No.
good?
I'm good.
Any other comments?
No, I'm all set.
No other comments from council?
Okay. Any other comments? Yes. All right.
Happy holidays.
Well, thank you. Number 4 is public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address the city council regarding tonight's public hearing. To do so, raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Anyone from the audience?
Anyone from the audience want to speak? If not, we close that part out.
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That takes us to number 5, adjournment, and the time is 7:08.
So moved.
Support.
A motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say yes, say
Yes,
Adjournment.
yes.
We're good.
Okay.
Yes.
It's Christmas, you know. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Our regular council meeting will start at 7:30. Thank you.